There's this one statement written way back over 250 years ago that is still one of the most puzzling and honestly powerful lines in all of philosophy. It's a paradox that really gets to the heart of what it means to be a person living in a society.
Man is born free, and everywhere he is in chains. Just let that sink in for a second. Free, and yet in chains? It's a total contradiction. On one hand, it speaks to that deep-down feeling we all have about our own personal liberty. But on the other, it points a finger at the reality we all live in, a world full of rules and obligations. And that's the big question, isn't it? How can you possibly be born for freedom, but destined for chains? It just sounds wrong, impossible even. But that's exactly the mystery we're going to unpack together right here. All right, so to solve this puzzle, let's break it in half. We'll start with that first beautiful idea, that we are born free. What does that actually mean? This idea of being born free is all about a concept called natural freedom. You have to imagine this hypothetical state of nature. Now, this wasn't a real time in history. It's more of a thought experiment. Picture a time before society, before governments, before any rules at all. It's a state of pure, raw, do-whatever-you-want liberty. So what would that life actually feel like? Well, you'd be completely self-reliant. The only rules you'd follow are your own. Total independence. Sounds pretty great, right? But, and this is a huge but, there's a massive catch. Constant vulnerability. See, in a world with no rules, you're free, but you're also completely unprotected from everyone else's freedom. Okay, so that's the free part. Now for the other shoe to drop, the stark reality that everywhere he is in chains. If we're not all walking around in literal prisons, what are these chains he's talking about? And this is the key right here. We're not talking about physical iron chains. The chains are a metaphor for the entire structure of society. They're the laws we have to follow, the social norms we're expected to meet, the jobs we have to work, the taxes we have to pay. They're literally the fabric of our civilized world. So here, you can see the flip side of the coin. Instead of total independence, you have dependence on others. Your independence is limited. But in exchange for giving up that constant vulnerability, you get that final, crucial thing on the list: increased security. There's the deal. And this brings us right to the heart of the paradox. You've got this wild, natural freedom on one side and these secure societal chains on the other. So how do they possibly coexist? Well, it all comes down to one big idea: the great trade-off. To really get this trade-off, we have to realize there are two completely different kinds of freedom in play. First, you've got natural freedom. That's the chaotic, absolute kind, the power to do anything you can imagine. But then you've got civil freedom, which is the safety to live your life and pursue your goals because you're protected by a shared set of rules. And the way we make this trade is through something called the social contract. Think of it as this unspoken agreement that we're all a part of. It basically works in 3 steps. First, we give up our absolute, wild freedom. Second, we agree to live by a common set of rules. Those are our chains. And third, what do we get in return? We get security, stability, and that new, more structured kind of freedom, civil freedom. So there it is. That's the solution to the whole puzzle. We are born free, but we willingly choose the chains. We accept them because these rules and social structures protect us from the fear and the absolute chaos of a world where everybody can do anything they want at any time. These chains, they're the price we pay for peace and safety. Now, I know this might all sound like some abstract, dusty old philosophy, but this trade-off is something you are dealing with every single day. So let's bring this home and talk about your modern chains. Just think about your own life for a second. Your 9-to-5 schedule? That's a chain, but it provides the freedom that comes with a steady income. A mortgage is a massive chain of debt, but it gives you the freedom and security of having a home. Even something as simple as stopping at a red light is a chain on your freedom of movement, but in exchange, you get the safety of not getting slammed by another car. Every single one of them is a trade. So this leaves us with one last big thought. This whole paradox, it isn't about being hopelessly trapped. It's about choices, conscious ones and sometimes unconscious ones. The real question for us today isn't if we wear chains, because let's be honest, we all do. The real question is whether the trade is fair, and if the chains we have are the ones we would truly choose for ourselves. So ask yourself, what chains do you choose, and what freedom do you get in return?